All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. We got another great podcast for you guys today. This is one that I have been wanting to do forever. It feels like this is a product that as soon as it hit the market, I was like, golly, this is something that I wish would have been created a long time ago. I really wish I would have created it, but just something that was very needed in our hunting community. And so, like I said, I've been wanting to do this podcast for a long time. So with me on the podcast today, I have Armando Martinez with the Bow Hitch. Armando, how are you, buddy?
I'm wonderful, brother. I'm wonderful. Thank you.
So glad to have you on here finally, dude. It's about time you and I connect.
Yes, I know, and I was actually looking back at our text thread, and it's been a while since we said, yeah, let's do it. And it's just we both get busy, and that's the way it goes sometimes.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're busy, dude. And I can tell, like, just, I'm in my business, I have to be following social media and YouTube and all those things. And man, just watching you flourish and grow with the company, it's really fun to watch. So I'm glad that you're getting busy. And is it extremely busy now?
It's always busy. I have two kids. I'm married. So like life is busy. My kids play sports, and so that's busy. And then trying to throw in something that you don't know what you're doing, and by that I mean trying to start a new business. I grew up in the fire service and public service, so this is just a whole new world for me that I'm diving into, and I just don't want to mess it up. So we're taking it slow and just real organic, and that takes more time, to our videos are not top quality. Like, like I put out what I put out, but it's as genuine as it could be, like, I'm not going to shoot it 50 times. Like if I make a mistake, you're going to see a mistake on whatever it is I put out. Like, it just is what it is. So the busyness comes from trying to figure things out, and sometimes having to, just to figure it out, man. And so I don't know. Long answer to a simple question, but we're happy with what's going on.
Dude, you're doing a good job, man. I just got to tell you that, and I love the genuineness of what you're doing. Like I love your social media because it's raw. It's you just talking about hey fam. I love that too. Building this Bow Hitch family and whatnot. And so I think the biggest part. I think a lot of people come into whatever it is business and they're just trying so hard, and they may not have a product that's like top of the line, something that everybody needs, and they kind of struggle with it. But when you create a product that a lot of people need, and man, Armando, we need that. We have needed this product for a long time. We've farted and fumbled around with all sorts of different slings and stuff. And I got my bow right here with me. And I'm gonna ask you some questions. I'm gonna put you to the test today. But
perfect.
Let's do it. It's something that we've needed for a long time. And so when you have a product like that people need, you'll figure out the business and entrepreneur stuff as you go. But when you got a product like you've got, I think without a doubt you're gonna be successful, and the busyness will come and is there with a good product. So let's jump into it, because I don't want to steal your whole night. I know, like you just said, you got family and whatnot, and we're recording this podcast a little bit later in the evening, but I wanted to talk to you about the Bow Hitch because, like I said, it's something that I've wanted forever. I just wasn't smart enough to think about an idea like you thought up. And I think it's something that a lot of hunters have wanted, because bow hunting sucks anyways, but carrying your bow sucks even more. And that's kind of been your motto, isn't it? The bow hunting.
That's our slogan, man. Our slogan is carrying your bow sucks. And when people see it, they're like, dude, that is awesome. It does suck. So
it's legit. It's legit.
We love that. Yeah, that one wrote itself.
Oh, man.
That one wrote itself.
It's the truth though, isn't it? It sucks carrying your bow when you're out hunting.
Dude. I mean, we're victims just like everybody else, who's a bow hunter. Like I personally, I've bought all the contraptions. I have slings, I have this, I have that. And not to take away from any of them, because at a certain point in time, each one has its own value.
Yeah.
However, there was a gap in the market, and like ours works and functions in a way that no other carrying system does. Ours is designed for hunting and not hiking. Like pretty much what you could purchase now that most people know about are for hiking. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're to transport your bow from point A to point B. But when it's go time, you cannot physically actively hunt with any of those as efficiently as you can with ours. So that's where ours really separates itself. And I think that's the benefit with us, being able to be genuine and to be not pushy. Like we're not in a flooded market.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, nobody wants to carry their bow. So any archer is a potential customer for us, and we just hear the gripes from the other things that are out there. So once people give us a shot and actually look and listen to what we have, it's that the product sells itself. So we're not pushy, like, and if you don't want to try it this year, cool. Like I like to wait, and I'll read reviews, and you got to test things out and make
Mm-hmm.
sure that they're gonna be okay for your hard-earned money. And I totally get it. So we're as easy as it comes, man. If you want to try it, cool. Like even at the 3D shoots, we'll take a box full of bright orange ones for
Uh-huh.
loners,
Uh-huh.
because I tell people, well, make sure you want it, man. Take
Yeah.
it. And they run it for a day or 2 days, and then when they're done with it, they come back and they buy one. So it's all good.
See, that's a good product.
All
When it
good.
sells itself, that's a good product. Someone uses it and they're like, "Yeah, I gotta have it." That's when you know you got the right product.
Yeah, it's so funny because day one, like for example, we were just at the Total Archery Challenge in Oklahoma,
Mm-hmm.
and we've never been anywhere east of New Mexico, and so this market had no idea who we were. We don't advertise. I've never paid for advertising, so like we're very small fish, and so day one, people will, a couple people stop by and they'll look, and we sell a couple to people who have been following us on social media,
Mm-hmm.
but anybody who's new is not interested. And then day two, people ask the ones they see from day one carrying it, so day two is pretty busy, and then
Yeah.
day three is even just slammed because people are like, shit, I should have bought this on Friday. So it's that's we're fortunate. That's the way the product sells itself. And
Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
love it. It's been good.
So where did it come from? That's what makes me crazy. Is like seriously, I have thought about this topic and this product for I can't tell you how long. I mean, I've always thought like there's got to be a better way of doing this, and I'm kind of like you. I've tried so many things, and I've got a different. Okay, don't come through the microphone on me right now. I've got a different one on my bow right now,
Yeah.
and I've tried all these different ones, and so again, I've thought about it so much. I've been bow hunting for 25 30 years now, and I never could figure out something that would work like the Bow Hitch does. So tell us a little bit about like how did this come to be?
So the concept was born on a hunt between myself and my partner. My partner was using something that had it's not even the same ballpark. It's just the concept was there to get the fire burning, right? And so he had a concept, and his was a anyway. Long story short, he had a different thing that was going, but it got my wheels turning.
Mm-hmm.
So um, after a couple of years of him not pursuing anything, I finally told him, I'm like, Doug, because I got on him. I'm like, Doug, that's something there, bro. Like you need to try to sell that. Like that's genius. You could run with that. And he didn't do anything. And then next year, Dougie, like, did you guys do anything with it? No, I haven't. And so finally, after year three, I told him, I was like, Doug, if you don't want to do anything, like I think this is special. Like there's something here you can do to make a difference, man. And so he's like, well, if you want to do it with me, we could team up. And from that day forward, we've been 50-50 partners. We shook hands, and so I got his concept, and I really started thinking about it and got the wheels turning. And like a lot of other stories, I was on my dining table, and I drew the first one out on a napkin, and I got I mean, I'm a terrible unartistic drawer, if that's even the right word. And so I
I'm
drew
with you in
this
that
thing on it.
department.
I drew this thing on a napkin, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna mount it here, but I need the balance point to be a little better. I need it closer to the D loop, so I kind of made my angle. And then I said, well, I need to hook it on something. So I made the hook, and it sat there. And then I got on, you know, on eBay, and I ordered a couple of pieces that I thought I would need for it. And one day, probably about a month or two later, the parts came in, and I'm sitting there and I'm a couple beers deep. And I was like, well, I guess I'll go make that thing. So I went to the garage and I hacked out an angle grinder, and went to town on a piece of metal and brought my bow out and kind of eyeballed some screw holes, and I made the first one, dude. And a few weeks later, I went on an elk hunt in New Mexico and I used it, and it was the ugliest thing, like compared to what it is now.
Right.
But man, my hunting partners were like, "Bro, what are you doing?" And by the end of the hunt, I was like, "You guys, like this thing freaking works."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Dude, why didn't you make me one?" So they were upset that they didn't have one because the function was already there, and it was the it was the first product, the first time we ever tried it, and so that's how we got started, man. And
Wow.
things fell into place after that. I went to a cousin of mine is a computer engineer, and he's just one of those kids that's just good at everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so he is in the process of developing a game that they've been working on for years, a board game with cards and with their own characters. And so anyway, he has a 3D printer. He's in the middle of a patent process with his board game. And so I called him up, and he's like, well, send me the dimensions you need and the length and whatever.
Listen up, hunters and outdoorsmen. You've been living in a tent, roughing it in the great outdoors for over a week while chasing bucks or elk or whatever. Your beard may be coming in nicely, but there's one area that needs some attention when you get back home. We're talking about your nether regions, fellas. That's where the Lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped comes in handy. This tool is designed to tackle even the wildest of forests while keeping your precious gun safe from any mishaps. With a ceramic blade that won't nick or snag and skin-safe technology, the Lawnmower 4.0 is the ultimate way to clean up down there after a week of roughing it. It's waterproof, so you can use it in the shower when you get home. You could use it in a lake, or I guess even if you get desperate, you could use it in a muddy puddle. So when you finally make it back to civilization after weeks in the wilderness, make sure you've got the Lawnmower 4.0 waiting for you. Your family jewels and any lady friends will thank you as well. Use the code eHunter at checkout and get 20% off of any item. Again, that's eHunter, EHUNTR, at checkout and get 20% off any item.
And then drive to my house and I'll print one out on a 3D printer, and we'll see what changes you want to make. So I literally, by the time I left my house, I drove to his house. He had one printed. We put it on my bow, and we figured out what it needed. A little bit longer here, a little bit of this there. And within the day, dude, it's probably 90% of what it is today.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have some new features coming on to add to it, like some 2.0 type of stuff. But the basic premise of it, which is the beautiful part of the Bow Hitch, is that it's so simple.
Yeah.
There's no moving parts. There's nothing that could fail. There's no sound. Like, it's just like the best analogy that I can give is it's a doorstop. It's like a doorstop. Like, it's there when you need it. And when you need it, you're like, damn, I'm really glad I have this doorstop.
And it works
but
perfectly.
When you don't, and it works the way it's supposed to, right? It holds the door open.
Yep.
There's nothing glamorous. There's nothing, like life-changing about it, but the freaking door's open. But if you don't have the doorstop, you're like, well, this sucks because now I got to open the door every single time. And when the doorstop is out of the way, you don't know it's there. And same thing with the Bow Hitch. If you want to carry your bow in your hand, carry your bow in your hand. Like if you want to put it in your backpack, put it in your backpack. Like whatever bow carrying system you have on your bow right now, if you wanted to use that in the dark, perfect. Use it because the Bow Hitch is out of the way. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Like we're not competing. Just because you have their product or our product doesn't mean you can't have the other person's. And the other day in Oklahoma, there was a bow that had all three of our products on it. And a little excessive, sure, but I mean, hey, if you want it, I'm gonna sell it to you.
Yeah, for sure. Wow,
there's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah, Oh, that's amazing. And for those that are listening and haven't seen this, I encourage you to go to, you go to Instagram, go to the Bow Hitch on Instagram and check out what, I mean, it's very simple, Armando. I mean, it bolts onto your bow, and I want to kind of get into the details of how it all functions and where you put it and stuff like that. But simple little, skinny little thing that comes off your bow, off the riser. And then basically has a loop or a hook on there that you hook the loop onto. So it's a very simple product. And that's what I'm saying is like, when it first came out, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the most simple thing, but golly, it's effective. Like that's an amazing thought. And so, like you said, it's foolproof. It's easy to use. It's quiet. It's not like, okay. So again, I don't have it on my bow, and so you're gonna have to tell me a little bit about it as far as like how you put it on, and you just
Sure.
really said that it's not in the way and stuff like that. So maybe talk us through that a little bit. How does it mount onto the bow, and how is it not
Okay.
in the way?
So the biggest misconception that we get a lot of people that wonder, and it's not so prevalent now because most of the bows have an integrated sight or a Picatinny sight or what have you. But standard bows in the past, you have your riser, and then the sight attaches to the riser,
Uh-huh.
and then your quiver attaches to the sight. So your sight never comes off. So what we have is the bow hitch is a super thin piece of metal. It's a 14 piece of 14 gauge steel that's powder coated. There's three different sizes, and one weighs 3 ounces, 3.5, and 4 ounces for the respective sizes.
Wow.
And the uh, and the reason we have three different lengths is because the different quivers. Some quivers, the last arrow sticks out way to your string. Some of them, all your arrows are by your riser. So depending on the setup you run, we recommend you run the smallest bow hitch you can. That way, it's less weight. So that's why we have three different sizes. So when you're ready to take a measurement for your bow hitch, you measure from where your quiver attaches to your sight to the last arrow in your quiver, and that will tell us what size of bow hitch you need.
Okay.
And then when it's time to install your bow hitch, so right now you're looking at your bow.
I
Does your
literally
quiver
am looking at
attach?
my bow right now, by the
Yeah.
way, just so you know.
So does your quiver attach to your sight or directly to your limbs or to your riser, or how does that work?
So I've got a Matthews VXR, so it's a couple years old, so it doesn't
Okay.
have, it's not as fancy as some of these, ones in the last couple of
Okay.
years. And I've got
Yeah.
the Matthews claw, I think it's the claw quiver or claw hook up at the top here. So it's very at the very top of my riser.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like
Uh,
probably 5-6 inches above my sight is where it connects.
yes. Okay. So yours, what side are you running?
I am running a black gold 3 pin
Okay. Perfect.
slider.
So on your black gold, you're going to see the two screws that attach your sight to the riser.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Adjacent to that, there's going to be two other threaded holes,
Yep.
or there might even be four other threaded holes. That's where you're a standard, like if you wanted to get a tight spot or any other quiver, that's where you would attach your quiver if you weren't running the Matthews.
Uh-huh.
So all you would do is put the bow hitch right there on the
Oh,
outside of your sight. So it's two screws, bro. I
that's
mean,
so
literally,
easy.
I have video where it's like 40 seconds to install because like on yours, it would take literally 20 seconds. So all you would do is put the arrow in your quiver that is closest to your string,
Uh-huh.
and then you tell me the measurement from that arrow to the screw hole.
Gotcha. Okay. I
And I'm
actually,
pretty sure that setup is about 3.5, 4 inches.
yeah, pretty close to
So
that.
you're
Yeah.
gonna Yeah, so you could run a small bow hitch with that. So you'd be adding 3.5 ounces to your bow, or 3 ounces, excuse me. You'd be adding 3 ounces to your bow, and every time you stop to glass, every time you stop to GPS, every time you stop to take a leak, to use your phone,
Mm-hmm.
to take a break, your bow will you no longer have to find a place to put your bow down in the dirt. I mean, just think of how many times you do that in a day.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's crazy if like run it for a couple days and then don't run it, and you're like, bro, I didn't realize how many times I put my bow down.
Yeah.
Um, so that's the where the bow hitch works. On the newer bows, it goes directly to the riser,
Uh-huh.
but the key is that we don't adjust your sights. it goes to the outside of the sight. And we've never once had anybody come back and say, hey, you threw my sights off, or you did this, or whatever happened. Like, it's been amazing, man. Like, we've just, it's rocking, man. It works really, really well.
Well,
So,
I, I
just
watched
throw it on there, and that's it.
I watched a video. I kind of geek out about this stuff. I love gear and whatnot. And so I was watching your videos. Gosh, back when we very first started chatting on Instagram and talking about doing this podcast, I started watching some of your videos, and I've been watching every one of them ever since. And I always get a chuckle because your videos are really short. You know, most of your videos are really short because like the
Yep.
installation and the functionality of the bow hitch, it doesn't take a lot of time. You know, like you were saying, I could have one on my bow in about 20 seconds and be ready to go with it. So like it's amazing how easy it is. And so my bow's like that. And most bows are that way, right? They're all very pretty simple to
They're all so similar, dude. Like, they all have a sight, or they all have a riser that's tapped for a sight. So, and all those holes are the exact same size. So they're universal. You know, the mounting holes on the bow hitch are universal.
hmm
And the cool thing about the bow hitch is each one, even though it's a small, it has three different sets of holes. So you have an inch of play within each
Oh.
size of bow hitch to go and get you the tightest fit that you like.
And that's what you want. You
So
want that tightest fit, right? You want it as close or as small as possible.
I prefer mine. Yeah, I really like mine tucked close to the last arrow. Nothing is touching, but I like it, to where it doesn't stick out. My partner, he likes his a little bit higher, and the cool thing about the bow hitch is, like, I don't care how you run it. Like, if you run it and it's comfortable for you,
hmm
then that's the right way.
Yeah.
It's like, it really doesn't matter. I've had people put them backwards because they want to carry their bow upside down, and so I'm like, bro,
Oh.
I, I'm not I'm like, I'm not gonna do that on my bow. But if that's the way you walk and this works for you, then perfect. Like, it doesn't
Uh
make a difference to me. So, like, our new single point sling, we have it's called the 2A bow sling, the Second Amendment bow sling.
huh.
So that is your standard single point rifle sling that works with the bow hitch. And then we have a little buckle you could swap from our bow hitch loop over to just a locking buckle that works with your standard AR-15 platform rifle.
hmm
And so there was a guy shooting a big 34-inch axle, but the problem with his bow is he was shooting one of the equalizers, and
Oh.
it was sticking out the way he had it set up, which was kind of a I don't know. It was I had never seen one like it. But long story short, he used our single point sling. Then we added a buckle for him just above his handle, and so he's snapping into that. And I'll probably post that tomorrow. I
Wow.
haven't posted that video yet, so keep an eye out. So there's no wrong way. Like, if it works for you, fantastic. Like, run it that way. So
I
another cool thing, and I hadn't mentioned this yet, but so the bow hitch attaches to your bow, and there's a hook on one end.
hmm
The other part of the bow hitch is our strap that comes with the purchase of every bow hitch, and our strap has think of a foot and a half 1 inch webbing, and on the end of one of on one of the ends there's a loop sewed into it that's about 1.5 inches long. And so that opening on that 1.5 inch, 1 inch webbing is designed to receive the other half of the bow hitch.
hmm
So all you do is marry one to the other. You attach our strap into the load lifter on your backpack. You adjust it for your arm's length, and then the bow is always right there when you're ready.
Yeah.
And that's as simple as it gets. It's a gated buckle. We have a lock on it. We included a ladder lock. That way, it never could
Okay.
slip on you. So it's cool.
You've got a
The
great video.
listeners,
Yeah, you've got a
you got to see it. Like,
hmm
please go. You can either see it on our page, at the Bow Hitch on Instagram, and kind of look at through some of those videos, or our YouTube is the Bow Hitch, and thebowhitch.com. There's some quick videos that you guys can watch to get a better understanding. because explaining it to somebody who has no idea to base it off of, it's very difficult because there's nothing to correlate it to. There's nothing
Right.
that's been built like it. Um,
Yeah, I'll link.
so
I'll link down below if you're listening to this on Spotify or whatever. I'll link. So there's a great video that you do. You're in a indoor shooting range, and you're demonstrating the bow
oh
hitch.
yes, that
And
one's good. That one is good.
yeah, it's perfect because you're showing like how quiet it is to take it on and off, but and you show all the functionality of it. You show how to clip it onto your backpack. But one of the things I really liked about that video was, I full credit to the guy that put it backwards, but I loved how you had it like perfectly like at arm's length, so that when that time was ready, you're not fumbling around trying to reach down a little bit to grab your grip or whatever. It was just right there, perfect length, ready to go. And you explained that all in that video. So I think that video is like what, 2 or 3 minutes long, if I remember right. It's been a bit since I
Yeah,
watched it,
that
but
that one's a little bit longer
is it
because I
okay?
do a little better in depth of different scenarios. So another thing about it is the bow hitch can hang from any 1 inch or less webbing. So if you're just wearing your bino harness, you could literally clip it into your bino harness.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you're stalking antelope, you're just shooting in the backyard and you're just wearing your bino harness, just snap it in right there and you don't have to put your bow down in the dirt. Your cams will never hit the dirt again, dude.
Oh, that's
So,
that's music to an archer's ears right there. Keep those cams out
yeah,
of the
oh,
dirt.
that drives me nuts, man. I'm a
Oh,
freak about that. So,
oh man, I do those. I do the Total Archery Challenge, and they have those little bow stands, little kick stands you can put on your
yep,
limbs, and
yep.
everybody's always trying to talk me into getting those, and I'm like, I'm not putting my cam down in the dirt like that. The last thing I want is a little rock getting in between my string and my cam, and
Oh,
all hell breaks
yeah.
loose at that point.
Oh,
So,
absolutely,
you know,
dude. Yeah, I'm not a fan either. I'd rather walk 10 steps and find a nice clean place to put it down and
yeah.
if you got to put it down.
Yeah,
So,
that's the thing
I'm
is
with you on that one.
I try to carry it all day long, and so I'll tell you what, I won't tell you the brand that I have on my bow because I don't want to make them feel bad or
Yeah,
anything
no,
like that.
yeah, for
But
sure.
basically, it ties onto the top lint or the top of the riser and the bottom of the riser, and it's like a paracord, braided paracord
Hmm.
that holds it there. It's the same as on my sling on my wrist
Right.
sling, and so I use that, and it's like kind of like a gun sling, but kind of not. It's like you're carrying a bag around. It's just it's just in the way all the time. It's always flopping around. You go up to pull up for a shot and it's sitting there bouncing in front of your sight and stuff like that. It's not the most convenient. And that's what I found with most everything that I've used in the past is it's just not right. It just wasn't perfect. It was cumbersome. It was in the way, or it was heavy, or, whatever the case may be. And with the bow hitch, like, I feel like it checks all the boxes and is easy to use. It's out of the way. It's lightweight. And let me ask you this: so it's metal right now. Have you played around with ideas of making carbon fiber or I don't
We
other
we we
materials?
actually we actually spoke with the engineer from that makes the frames for initial ascent backpacks. And they
Nice.
have they have one of the sturdiest, most hardcore frames that there is.
Yeah,
And so we talked, and he's interested, but carbon fiber is not cheap.
that's true.
And I mean, right now I'm at 3 ounces, so
Yeah, you
it,
can't get much
it's
lighter than that. Let's be honest.
I am gonna make titanium ones
Ooh,
just because that's badass.
yeah,
Pretty much
exactly.
is the only reason. Like a buddy of mine told me, he's been helping us out kind of with our brand strategy type of thing. And anyway, he was like, "You have to have it. Like
Yeah.
if it's available, why wouldn't you have it as an option? Like if somebody wanted to get one for their wife or their husband,
Mm-hmm.
like they're gonna buy them the best one."
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh man!" So I called their manufacturer, which I think is really important to know, is right down the street from my house here in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Nice.
Um, they cut them out in Belen, which is 30 minutes from my house, and then I take them into town and I get them powder coated. So everything is manufactured right here in New Mexico. All my straps get sewed in New Mexico. So it's pretty. I think that's important for people to know.
It is.
Um,
American made is
but
important. To know that
yeah,
it's made here in America, it's made right there in your home in the great state of New Mexico. I mean, that is important.
yeah. So On the made in the USA thing, the thing that hurts us is we were so proud of that, bro, when we
Yeah.
started. Like we had it on our packaging and and we were under the impression because it's getting manufactured in the US, but we wanted to be very compliant and we were looking at threads and all the other stuff. And so we called the metal manufacturer and we asked them, "Hey, where does this metal come from?" And the metal comes from South America. So the
Oh,
number one component in the bow hitch, the raw metal is derived out of the South America. So that was just like a big kick in the nuts for us to be
yeah.
like, well, I don't want to mislead anybody. You know, we're manufactured in the US. And so that I don't want
I,
anybody to misconstrue anything. So we're still made in the US, like we're manufactured in the US, but the steel that we are purchasing or that we were at the time derived in South America.
I'm gonna say you're made in America because
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, we still do it. I drive
yeah.
down, from my house and I watch them get the raw steel and make the thing before my eyes. And
Mhm.
so it is what it is. But, just so everybody knows,
That's
that's, yeah, I wouldn't say something that it wasn't.
but it's important for us to be supporting local companies,
Oh,
new companies like yourself. I mean, I feel like that's important, and you're supporting other people here in the U.S. I think that's important. So yeah,
oh,
I
it's so cool, dude. It's so cool to be because, we're nobody now, but for these people to give us a chance
hmm
and like it's important, man. Like I hope we never have to go anywhere else to make it, because these are just families that go to school with kids that my kids go to school with, and it's just like it's super cool for them to give us a chance. And yeah, man, we'll make that for you.
yeah.
um
Yeah, I think the
it's
majority of the
it's
people
it's pretty neat.
will support that, and and that going back to the titanium conversation, like yeah, you're gonna have to charge more for it, but I'm
Sure.
gonna compare it to like okay, I love Christensen Arms rifles. That's the guns that I love,
Right.
and
Yep.
I can buy a Ridgeline gun from them, but they also have the titanium version as well. And a lot of people are going to buy that titanium version. It's going to be just maybe a touch lighter. You're not going to tell the difference. You can pick up both those guns. You're never really going to say, "Oh yeah, this one's so much lighter." But it's just a matter of it is just a little bit lighter. It is cool because it's titanium, and so really, when it comes to at the end of the day, when you have those things made out of titanium and maybe carbon fiber at some point, even though it is more expensive, there may be people that just want to buy that just because it is just maybe that much lighter and that much cooler. I mean, let's be honest, we like cool stuff.
Yeah,
So
no, dude, no doubt. I've had people tell me the minute you make it in carbon fiber, I'm all over it.
yep,
But he wouldn't even entertain it. He looked at it, saw how it worked. He's like, "That's badass. Do you have carbon fiber?" And I said, "No, sir, not yet." And he goes, "When you do, I promise I'll buy one." So I
yeah,
said, "All right, good enough. But
and people will
we're
pay
not
the
gonna please
price.
everybody. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
will absolutely. There's nothing too expensive for people, which blows my mind.
Well, and people
It's
want to support
it,
you too. Honestly,
yeah,
if someone's got the aluminum one or whatever, or is it steel or aluminum? Sorry, I apologize.
14 gauge steel. Yeah,
14
the
gauge steel.
aluminum was too soft. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
we
that would
tried
be
it.
that'd been too much. So
Yeah,
yeah, but there might be people that have the steel ones, and then when you come out with these other ones, it's a matter of supporting you as well, and purchasing the nicer, cooler ones. So no, I
yeah.
totally get it. So as far as other products, so you talked about this um, oh my gosh, the
The
one that
two
hooks
A,
onto your
the 2A bow
backpack.
sling.
No, so the two
Yeah.
A's one,
Okay.
the two
So
A ones that goes around your neck, right, or around your shoulder, right? Like you can hook
yeah,
to a
it's your
rifle.
standard AR-15 sling.
hmm
Yeah,
And then you have
and
the one that
then
hooks onto
the
the backpack, right?
yes, we just call that the pack strap because it
Pack
goes
strap.
onto your backpack,
Okay.
and that comes with every bow hitch.
Oh, okay. So so even if
Yeah,
you
so
buy the one that goes around your shoulder, you're still going to get the one the pack strap.
the no, so well, we don't have a package that comes with the let me just start over.
Yeah,
Every
sorry, I'm
single
messing it
bow
up.
hitch, yeah, no problem. I just don't want to, yeah. Every bow hitch that you purchase is gonna come packaged with the size and color of bow hitch that you want. It's going to come with one pack strap that attaches the backpack to the bow hitch. That's your pack strap. And then it'll come with 2 sets of screws. That way, because we send longer screws for people who are using a quiver, because typically the quivers come with some really, really small screws. And so you're only getting 1 or 2 threads into your sight.
Oh, gotcha.
So we mail you longer screws to make sure you get a good bite into there. Sweet. And then with the newer bows, the risers don't accept screws that are that long. So we send you small screws. That way, if your bow hitch goes directly to your riser, no problem. We have you covered there too.
That's awesome. Okay, gotcha. So what is, just so everybody knows, what does that package right there cost?
$49.99.
Oh man, that's a steal.
Yeah,
that's a good deal, man.
It's awesome. Yeah.
And what does a 2-way strap cost?
$35.
Oh man.
And that is going to come with we have them in black, tan, and green, and that comes with the little attachment point to run your bow hitch, or a separate buckle to run with your AR-15. So you can use the exact same sling to run both weapon systems. And what I think that one is going to kill, there's 2 different things that it's going to dominate. One of them is going to be bow fishing, because when you're bow fishing and shining the light and you want to use your hands, you always have to carry your bow. Well, now you're going to be able to give your arm a break, because with the 2-way bow sling, your bow fishing rig could be sitting right next to you on your left hip or whatever, on your hip, ready to shoot, and you are hands free to give yourself a break. And then when it's time to shoot, all you do is pick your bow up, slide off the bow hitch, and shoot. So sweet. That's one thing that I really think we're going to kick butt in. And then the other market is, dude, it's so perfect for it, but saddle hunters. So you just picture a saddle hunter with the tree up in front of them. All the saddle hunters right now, because there's never been anything like this, have to get their bow and hang it from the tree in front of them.
Right.
So no matter what angle they use or how they pivot around this tree, once they see the animal, they have to reach up and over and retrieve their bow from the tree up in front of them. Well, with the single point sling, your bow hitch is always your bow is always on your side, on your shooting hand. So all you do is come up with it and shoot, and it's all one motion. There's no sound. There's so much less movement. We had some hunters use it this year, and they're just like blown away. So that's like I said, we haven't marketed, but once the word gets out, it's going to be hotcakes.
Has anybody used it for bow fishing yet that you've talked to?
I just sent some out, so I haven't gotten feedback, but a couple of people actually called and asked me if it would work. And so I said, here, let me send you one. You tell me if it's going to work for you. And he said yes. And then he bought a couple more. So man. I haven't reached back out, but I mean, it's coming. I know it.
Oh yeah. And like you said, once the word gets out, it's going to spread like wildfire. Because if I've learned anything is these communities are small. The world of hunting is small. The world of bow fishing is even smaller. Everybody knows everybody. And so when they see them using this new product, just like you, when you went on that first elk hunt, people are going to see that and be like, dude, what is that? What are you doing? Why are you holding on to your bow? Like, how are you doing that? And it's such a simple little thing. They're going to be like, oh yeah, I have got to have that. It'll spread like crazy, man. I'm so excited. So I keep going back to tack. Like tack is where because you're all day long packing your bow. You're never taking a break. Like when you're hunting, normally you'll sit down in glass and you can hang your bow over somewhere else or set it off somewhere else. And it's, you're not carrying it all day long, but tack, and we try to do 2 runs every day at tack. So we're kind of,
that's a long weekend, dude.
Oh, bro,
a long weekend.
It's crazy. It's a lot of shooting. By the end of it, I'm normally not sick of shooting my bow, but by the end of tack, I'm like, I'm good not to shoot my bow for a minute.
But I don't blame you.
Dude, having that that's my thing is I got to have it for tack because I think that's going to be a huge thing. Are you so which tacks Mountain Archery Fest are you going to all those to have a booth?
Right. Not all of them, but we're going to be at the Mountain Archery Fest in Purgatory.
Oh, nice.
We'll be there this year for sure. They have two different events in Utah. There's one at Eagle Point,
Uh-huh.
and then that's in Beaver, Utah, and
Hmm.
then there's another one that's in Soldiers Hollow.
Yeah.
So we haven't decided which one of those two, but we're going to try to make one of those two.
Come to the one in
And then
Beaver. Come to the one
Beaver,
in
is that
Beaver. Yeah.
okay? Cool.
I'm just
And
kidding.
then we're gonna also be out at Park City, Utah, for the Total Archery Challenge. We'll be at that one for sure.
Nice.
And then we're gonna do just west of Denver. There's one at the Total Archery Challenge,
Uh-huh.
and we already did Oklahoma at the end of this month. Doug is gonna be headed to San Antonio for TAC, and I'm gonna be in at the Whittington Center in Raton, New Mexico for Western Hunt Fest.
Oh yeah.
Some good friends of ours are putting that on, and so I'll be there for that one.
Oh, dude, that's sweet. Are you going to be the one
Yeah.
in Colorado, the Total Archery Challenge in Colorado?
Yes. Yep.
Sweet. I'm registered for it already. So if I don't get a chance to shake your hand before then, that'll be probably the first time I'll get to shake your hand. Well, I guess if you come to Beaver,
Okay.
I think that one's in June, right?
Shoot, bro. I have them written down, and that's I don't know.
I told you I was going to put you to the
It
test on this podcast.
yeah. I'm just glad I didn't stumble on the Bow Hitch
Nah,
stuff, but
you got that
the
down
dates
pretty
I don't
packed,
know.
brother.
Yeah, we've done those a couple of times. But I'll tell you what, I'll send you one, or I'll send you a couple so you can try it out, give one to your buddies to try out. That way, it's not just a one trick pony. And then let's do a 15% off for all the listeners. I'm gonna make it active for a year.
Oh,
So I
dude.
know sometimes these things, people listen to them when they listen to them, and that's
Mhm.
like today. I think it was yesterday. I was listening to oh my gosh, and I was like, do not forget what it's called, but it was one of your podcasts from 2022. Take care of your body, or
Oh
already
yeah.
prepared,
Uh-huh.
or
Oh my gosh, his name just I know him Pendleton, Justin Pendleton with him.
Justin.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was a fantastic episode, but that was last year's, right? Like,
Yeah.
and so never know when they're going to come up. So fantastic episode number one, and
Well, thank you.
all the points you guys made are like just super important.
Yeah.
Um,
But
but yeah, let's make it.
yeah.
I'll when I get off, I'll go to my account and I'll create a code, and it'll just be ehunter15, and
Okay.
it'll be good for 12 months from today. So if you guys are, today's let me see, April 13th,
Hmm.
um, of 2023. You got till 2024 to enjoy 15% off of whatever you guys order off of the bowhitch.com.
Dude, don't pass that up. That's a huge deal. If you're an archery hunter, and the guys I know there's a few guys that listen to this that are really really good close friends of mine. You've got to pick this up because this will change your life when it comes to archery hunting. So Armando, thank you for doing that for our listeners. We really appreciate that, and yeah, definitely take advantage of that, guys. I mean that's a big deal. And you're right. It's funny because we there's so many statistics out there when it comes to podcast and whatnot. You can, if you want to look up a statistic, it's out there in the podcasting world. And we'll release an episode, and it's funny, like I'll look week to week to see what's our top episode for that week. Oddly enough, it's usually not the podcast that we released that week. It's usually one that we released
Yeah.
like a year ago. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome to be able to have that out there for a year because, yeah, it's funny when people listen to podcasts. The reason and the rhyme and reason behind when people listen to podcasts, I have no idea, but it's how it works. So no, I appreciate
Yeah.
that a whole lot. So we'll get that on our social media as well so that everybody knows about it. But definitely take advantage of it. So, hey, I wanted to ask you though. So what's next? You kind of talked about 2.0, and I don't want any secrets or anything like that. I totally appreciate and respect that. But what's the future hold for you guys?
Right. So I mean it's super exciting. Our business is named, like, the LLC is called Simply Savage Solutions. So we started our business, and like I'm telling you, dude, Doug and I are both firemen, and like we have no idea what the hell's going on as far as the business is concerned. And we create the first bow hitch. We don't even know what it's called. And I remember where I was. Like I was driving home one day, and a buddy of mine called me. He's a fireman, just an old cowboy. Excuse me. And he's like, "Hey, bro, how's it going?" I was like, "Pretty good. How you doing?" You know, this is Billy. He's like, "How's that thing?" And I was like, "I don't know. It's going pretty good. It's pretty cool." And he's like, "Well, what's it called?" And I was like, "Dude, we don't even have a name." He's like, "I thought you had a name." And I was like, "Well, we have a business name called Simply Savage Solutions, but we can't call it that." And he's like, "Well, what does it do?" And I was like, "Well, it's just hitch it to your bow and it carries it like on your backpack." And he's like, "Call it a bow hitch." I was like, "Holy shit!"
You're like, oh yeah,
So,
that's it,
dude, so that's how bow hitch came to be.
oh my
And that
gosh.
like that's so even like our first bag toppers that we made, they have a Zia symbol for because we're from New Mexico,
Uh-huh.
and it just says Simply Savage Solutions because we didn't even know what the bow hitch was called. And
That's hilarious.
I met with another guy who had invented something, and Ed Siri was his mentor. Ed Siri from Siri Game Calls
Yeah.
is from New Mexico. And so
Hmm.
he mentored my buddy. And he said, "I'm going to do something that's kind of uncomfortable, but Ed Siri did it to me and it really helped." So he said, "Go bring me one of your packages." And he sat there and he looked at it and he's like, "What does this package have to do with hunting?" "Well, nothing." He's like, "Okay, what does this package have to do with archery?" "Absolutely nothing." Like so just we just didn't know, so we have adapted and we've changed and it's a lot
Hmm.
better now. But man, it's been an interesting road. So long
It'll.
story way around it, our business is named Simply Savage Solutions, and we're really trying to get back into that umbrella just because we are expanding. Like we have the 2A bow sling,
Hmm.
which is going to start us into the rifle industry, but we have a rifle sling that's coming out in about 2 weeks that is so badass.
Oh
And
man.
and it's almost like the bow hitch to where there hasn't been anything like it. Um, so
Oh,
it's super
dude.
cool. You can shoot with it still attached
Uh-huh.
without ever releasing it. And then if you wanted to release it, it's a simple buckle that you pop off and you throw on your tripod and let somebody else shoot the gun, like you're carrying the gun for my daughter or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I'm carrying the I'm carrying the rifle. It's time to shoot. I let the gun hang on my side. I set up the tripod with both arms. I lift up the rifle, put it in, unbuckle it, and it's snapped into my tripod. Um, it's super cool,
Oh
dude.
wow. And that's coming out
Or
in 2 weeks, you said?
two more weeks. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We were just waiting on a large order of buckles that we're waiting on.
Gotcha. Oh
But
man.
and that one we're calling the solution. Carrying your
Okay.
rifle's a problem, and called the solution.
Dude, I love the Simply Savage Solutions, by the way. That's such a
Oh, that
sweet name. I mean,
yeah. It's
so
money, dude. Dude, I'm telling you, we lucked into all of our stuff. I think is like you said, it's just cool.
yeah.
Simply Savage, like yeah,
Well, you
and
have a
it's a
shirt.
solution.
Yeah, you have a shirt in one of your videos that's a Simply Savage Solutions shirt. Like, man, that's a sweet name.
Yeah, and so that logo that you saw in that shirt
Hmm.
is about a 3/4 of an inch off center because me and Doug made them with the cricket. uh, and Anyway, dude, our shirts are terrible. Everybody's like, "Bro, that is cool." I'm like, "It's like an inch off."
I didn't
Like,
notice. I
I
honestly didn't notice.
appreciate it. Oh, oh, dude, it's so funny. Like my wife, she's like, "You guys are terrible," but we can. I mean, they're only good for a couple of washes with the cricket stuff anyway. But
Right, but
that
still.
that that logo that you're talking about is
Uh-huh.
the one that was on our original package.
Oh,
So
okay.
so that has nothing to do with bow hunting or with archery, or with any like
It's just New
nothing to do
Mexico.
with the bow hitch. That's all it brought back. And then so his other comment was, well, do you think somebody from Colorado is going to want a New Mexico symbol on it? I was like,
that's a good
well, I guess
point.
not.
Yeah, that's a
So,
good point.
so our original bow hitches, we bought a stamp and we stamped in a Zia symbol into every bow hitch. So our first couple hundred have an original Zia stamped into it, and now they're just straight metal. We don't stamp into them anymore, but
Now
we had a limited run.
Now that you say that, I remember seeing some of your guys' bow hitches on social media that had that stamped on there, and I wondered if that was kind of a special
Yeah,
edition or what that was.
it was just our originals, man. It's that's one of the OGs.
That's legit, dude. That is so awesome. Well, I'm excited for this new sling to come out. We did this podcast. It took forever to do this podcast, and now we did it 2 weeks early. So you and I are probably gonna have to do another podcast talking about the this new sling, or do quick video or something together to put up on
Well,
our social medias.
I'll tell you what, I'll get you a bow hitch. You could take that measurement for me and text it to me. I'll get you a bow hitch mailed out when I get these new buckles in for the rifle sling. That way you can play with both of them, and then we'll do a follow up.
That'd
And
be
if you have questions or if you have concerns or whatever, and just shoot me straight like, hey, I really like this part, or I think I need to adjust this or
mm-hmm.
whatever. Like that way, because whatever you're experiencing, somebody else might
Yeah.
have that same question.
Oh
So
no, that'd be awesome. I think
shoot.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll shoot the shit and whatever comes up, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I think that'd be a cool conversation.
Oh, for sure. I think our listeners would love that. A little bit of real experience, real life experience with it, hands-on kind of stuff. Real talk, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'd enjoy that. So definitely, dude. As soon as this comes out, and we can play around with it a little bit. Let's do that. Let's jump on another one and talk through it. So,
I got an idea. If you're up for it, we'll do a live. We'll go live on Instagram, and if you want to record it and put it on the podcast, but that way people could send us questions and ask you if whatever. Because I feel like I'm not a salesman, and it's hard for me to I don't want to be the one to always answer the questions because of course I think it's great. So for somebody else to answer these questions and you can answer them,
yeah,
however you feel, I think is more beneficial to me than me ever telling anybody anything. So if you're up to that, I think we'd get a pretty sweet audience wanting to know what you thought.
For sure. I think they would love the live. I've got another idea. Maybe we can toss around too. If you do come to Beaver for that shoot in June, I just looked it up. It is in June. I mean, that's only 2 months away. That's not far away. That wouldn't be too long after the release of this new sling.
Yeah.
We could sit down together, put on the headphones, and either do it live there or do a podcast in person together, video it, put it up on YouTube, have these products where people can see it and have our hands on it. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
That's perfect. That's even better because we're both that would be amazing.
Yeah, if you come to that, if you end up coming to that shoot, I'm really gonna push you to come to that shoot. I pushed you in the beginning, but now I'm really gonna push you because Beaver's it's in my backyard here. I mean, it's less than an hour away from where I'm sitting right now. So that's home for me. So yeah, if you come to that, we need to make that happen. But even if we don't, I mean, I think either way, I think a live would be awesome because I think we could get a lot of people on there. And yeah, video would be better because that way people could see, hands-on kind of a thing. So podcasts are fun and there's a lot of information you get on podcasts, but with a little video or some live stuff, that would be fantastic. So
cool.
Cool, man. This is exciting. I'm excited. I'm glad that we finally were able to connect and do this, dude. I'm excited about this product. Like I said, I kind of geek out about gear. Hunting gear is something that I absolutely love. And so when something like this comes out, I know you've been out for a little while now, but I think it's just an amazing product. I think you're doing a fantastic job with it. You kind of already said it a little bit earlier on, but just so everybody knows, where do they go to purchase this? Where do they go for more information on this? Let's make sure everybody knows where to go to get what they need.
Sure. So our website is thebowhitch.com. You just got to put in and same thing with our Instagram, the Bow Hitch. So thebowhitch.com. We're on, Instagram, Facebook. I do 99% of my stuff is on Instagram. I still haven't figured out Facebook, so I just kind of put it to the wayside.
Yeah.
Whatever transfers over, and if it doesn't, I don't even know if it does or not. So, um, please, if you have to send me a message, Instagram or email via our website is is a great way. I will always respond. If you have questions, we offer a police, military, firefighter discount. Like I said, both my partner and I are both. I just retired from the fire department, but he's still at it. So we love our, we love our brothers and sisters out there serving the community. Um, um, yeah. So
Awesome.
please reach out to us for a discount on that. All you'd have to do is send us a picture of your ID, and we're going to hook you up with the 30% discount. And that's always that will never end.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. I've been a firefighter in my life. My dad's still a fire chief in Arizona,
Nice.
so I want to
Yep.
tell you thank you for that. I mean, those guys
Yeah.
don't get
Very
enough
cool.
credit for the stuff. You guys don't get enough credit for the stuff that you do, and so thank you for that.
Yeah, it's a crazy world, man. So
Man,
yeah, if you guys are out there and you're wearing that uniform, please be safe and know that you're appreciated. It's weird now being retired because while you're living in it, you don't really understand like
yeah,
kind of what you do just because you do it every day. But since I've been removed for it for, I left in at the end of August, and it's just like, damn,
yeah.
that's some crazy stuff. And
Uh,
yeah, it's tough. So
It is.
be safe, guys.
I did it when
Be
I was
safe.
younger, and I decided to become a nurse and get out of it. So I became a
Nice.
nurse
Yeah.
and quit being a firefighter. But yeah, looking back on the things that I did as a firefighter, I was like, man, I was an idiot for some of the stuff that I did. But
Oh my
it
gosh.
it
Oh
it
my
saves
gosh.
people's
Yeah, no
lives. It
doubt.
saves people's homes. It saves people's livelihood. I mean, it's a necessary evil for lack of better words. But man, someone's got to do it. But it's scary for what some of the people do to save those things.
Yeah, it's there's some amazing people out there, man.
Ugh.
Young man's game for sure. So um
It
you
is.
sometimes I just think I'm glad I didn't know any better. The stupid shit that we made it through is I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That's a rabbit hole.
I'm glad that there are people that will do it though. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's a necessary thing. We need people to do it. Like I said, my dad's been doing it. My dad's been a firefighter or a firefighter and paramedic for probably 30, 40 years. I don't
Oof.
even know. And still to this day, I mean, he still will go out on wildland fires, sleeping in a tent on a cot. I mean, he's 60 years old and still doing that, still going strong. I mean, he's a young 60-year-old though. That dude is a machine. I mean, I look up to that man so much for what he does, and so proud of him for what he does. And
So cool.
yeah, it's
So cool.
amazing. So guys like him, yeah, I'm glad that you do that, Armando. I appreciate you giving those guys a discount and showing them that appreciation.
Yeah, no doubt. What does your dad shoot too? Is he an archer?
Oh yeah, yeah. He's the reason that I'm in. Why I love hunting. Him and I talk every day. But yeah, he's the one that got me into to hunting when I was a little kid. Since I was pretty much old enough to walk, he had a gun in my hands. As soon as I was able to hunt, he had me out there hunting, killing animals, having a good time. Yeah, without him, you and I wouldn't be talking. That's for sure. So
Yeah,
he's a good
that
man.
that's awesome, dude. Well, I tell you what, I told you I'd send you one. Get a size for your dad too. I'll send him one. He'll be the second one,
Oh,
and
dude.
just give him a hug for me and tell him to be safe.
I sure will. He's an avid listener of this
Cool,
podcast, so he'll listen to what we're saying right now. And
right on.
honestly, the old man's probably crying. He's probably got tears running down his face right now listening to this podcast.
Yeah,
So thanks,
dude.
brother. I appreciate that.
I'm the same way with my dad. Like, dude, like a dad is like if you have a kid and you're on here, like just remember how important that is and how like man, there's just some days where I'm like, man, my dad's getting older and it's just like, frick, I'm in the mountains sometimes and I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen when my old man ain't here to,
Yeah.
to be in my heart and telling me dumb shit, telling me what I did wrong, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt, man. So,
Oh,
enjoy the privilege of being a father because it's such a blessing and make
yeah.
the best of it. And
Yeah. Take
whether
advantage
like
of.
my yeah, take advantage, man. My son doesn't he doesn't even like hunting, but he'll go out there and yeah. my daughter likes it, but she's my daddy's girl. She'll do anything
Nice.
to make daddy happy. But my son, he doesn't care for, he
That's all
likes
right.
going,
It's all
but he
right.
doesn't want to shoot anything.
Yeah.
So, but it's still like such a blessing to have him out there. And he's got the best eyes. I have fantastic eyes. His eyes are like stupid good.
Oh
So
man.
it's nice to have him out there to pick stuff out.
Yeah, you don't have to shoot anything. Just tell me where they're at so I can shoot them.
Yeah, I'll shoot it. I don't have problems shooting shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. I apologize that we have taken so long to do this podcast, but now that we've connected, let's definitely stay in touch. If we can make it work together, let's do that. If not, let's definitely do a live, record a podcast doing that as well. But yeah, let's not be strangers in the future. Let's make sure that we're staying in contact, because I love their product. I love what you're doing, man. The man that you are is awesome. I think it's very easy for people to support a guy like you. So keep doing what you're doing, man. Sure appreciate everything that you're doing.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for the kind words, brother. We'll keep at it, man. This is what we do. So we look forward to helping people out. If you guys need help, reach out to us. We're a small business now, but we've been able to help a lot of people in a lot of small ways. So don't hesitate.
For sure, man. Sure will. All right, buddy. Well, I'll let you back to your family and your evening, but appreciate you, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yep.